Good morning and welcome. My name is Sophie Brandon and I am a consultant with XYZ Consultancy, and today I'm here to discuss how we can help you take Yamaha motors to the next level. Now there is a corresponding report that goes along with this presentation that goes into much more detail, but this presentation is going to focus on four major aspects. Firstly, we're going to focus on the investment into the construction equipment industry and a divestment from swimming pool manufacturing. I will also explain the rationale behind India as the country of choice and the suggested entry strategies for Yamaha to adopt. Before investing in a new industry, we had to ensure that Yamaha was in a viable position to compete competitively against other companies. And through our research, it is our opinion that Yamaha can compete competitively. Financially, you are in a very viable position. You have high liquidity and high operating income. Additionally, you have three strong competitive advantages. Two of such are sustainable advantages, such as your geographic divestment across 180 different countries with 135 consolidated subsidiaries across said countries. This divestment not only provides you with an increased market size and new opportunities, it also helps to mitigate the risk of relying on one singular economy. Additionally, your manufacturing technologies is a sustainable advantage, as not only are you producing new and innovative technology for your products, these products are going to have a competitive edge as no other industry is going to have your technology. And finally, your brand identity is a parity competitive advantage. And that's because your loyal customers and your brand recognition is going to help make entering new markets and industries a lot easier. So now that we have come to the conclusion that Yamaha can compete competitively in a new industry, I want to explain the rationale behind the investment into the construction equipment. This is a very diverse and continuously growing economy. It's expected to grow by over 170 billion US dollars by 2025. And this growth is supported by the increased government investment in local infrastructure and the construction industry. So that makes this market very attractive. Additionally, I undertook a Porter's framework analysis to see where Yamaha would be positioned in the industry. And while it is a moderately consolidated market with a few major players such as Caterpillar, there is a low threat of new entrants due to the high capital investment and restrictions. There's low supplier power due to the numerous amount of suppliers. There is a moderate buyer bargaining power, but I don't feel that to be a major risk to the company. And there's also a moderate risk of substitute products. And that is purely because the construction equipment industry is a sub-industry of manufacturing. So there can be a lot of crossover between the industries. And while that is a risk, it could also be an opportunity for Yamaha. To invest in this industry, it is our recommendation that Yamaha divest from manufacturing swimming pools. And that is because the sales of swimming pools in Yamaha's product portfolio is significantly less than sales of any other products. Additionally, the swimming pool industry, while expected to grow, is only expected to grow by 7.39 billion US dollars, which is significantly less than the expected growth of the construction equipment industry. Again, a Porter's framework was undertaken, and much like the previous industry, there is a moderate risk of substitutes, low supplier power, and a high competition, but this time the market is very saturated with a lot of strong competitors. There's a high threat of new entrants as there's limited barriers and restrictions, and a moderately high buyer bargaining power, as a lot of the buyers are residential developments such as gyms and apartment complexes. And that is why it is our recommendation that we divest from swimming pool manufacturing and use this money to invest in the construction equipment industry. Again, I want to explain why India is our country of choice instead of the United States, which goes into a lot more detail in the report, but the risk of India are far less than the risk of the United States, as you can see in this graph. Additionally, India has a really strong relationship with Japan, and it has for many years. They have strong partnerships and treaties, and India and Japan has shared a very strong trade and investment relationship for many decades. India itself is a very attractive market. It is the fourth largest global economy with a really strong investment environment and a very strong local currency that has been increasing in value since 2012. Thirdly, and probably most importantly, the construction industry in India is the third largest in the world, which obviously we need a strong construction industry for construction equipment. And this industry is supported by growing government investments in local infrastructure and incentives into the construction industry. Now, finally, it is our recommendation that for Yamaha to invest in the Indian market, that you utilize the upsell model. And that is just by investing in psychically close countries, such as India, before expanding into more distant countries, such as the United States. Also, following this model, your commitment of resources will increase once you have started to gain success in a particular market, and that is just to help mitigate any risk of failure and massive profit loss. It is our suggestion that you should utilize a transnational approach when expanding into India, and that will help you compete with your competitors such as Caterpillar, who personalize their marketing to individual markets while not sacrificing their global effectiveness. And finally, Yamaha already has a strong presence in India. You have 3 wholly owned subsidiaries, and it is our recommendation that you take advantage of that. You have pre-existing resources and capabilities in India, and it is our suggestion that you manufacture, market, and sell construction equipment from these subsidiaries. And that is how we are suggesting Yamaha increase their revenue and just take their industry and their company to a whole new level. Thank you for listening, and I hope you take on this information.